So get this right. This guy named Hideaki Anno one day gets this silly idea to produce a mecha anime. And Studio Gainax is like, yo, that sounds fucking awesome. I'm in. I think you'd be lying if you've said you've never heard of Evangelion at least once in your life before. Practically every corner of the internet has mentioned this being one of the greatest pieces of media to ever be created. Was everyone just overreacting, or was this truly the case? I decided to find that out for myself and eventually watched it after being 30 years late to it. The shit is older than I am, dude. Let that sink in. Considering that the title of this video has the word overrated plastered all over it, aside from pissing off every Evangelion fan, I'm guessing you can kind of already tell what I think of the anime. But I have a pretty strong and probably unpopular opinion on the show, and I'm gonna be sharing it with you throughout this video. So stay here and watch the entire video.
You have no choice.
Mwahahah, evil laugh. Mwahahah. Shinji Ikari is a shy and reserved boy whose life takes an almost immediate turn while looking to reunite with his father. From quickly meeting one of the hottest babes in all of anime history,
hell no, this bitch a pedo. What the hell? I take that back, I take that back.
to then being told that the fate of humanity and the city that he lives in now rests in his hands alone. Shit really went from 100 to 0 real fucking fast. And in a mere moment's notice, he's already told that he's to pilot the massive mech known as an Eva and defeat the angel that was now making its way towards them. This monster is insanely powerful, and not even an entire US military budget worth of missiles and weaponry could put a dent in this thing.
We need more firepower!
After some immense hesitation and a truly uplifting pep talk from his father, Shinji, stop being such a little bitch, god damn it, just get in the Eva. Nobody wants me. I've never been loved in my entire life. Yeah, I wonder why that is.
God damn it, Shinji, just get in the fucking Eva!
Shinji eventually manages to power through his doubt and agrees to pilot the Eva. Now this is episode 1 of the 25 that follow throughout the season, and immediately you're given this impression that you're gonna be watching a sick-ass mecha anime. And for a show being made in 1995, the quality is fucking dope. The tension is high as you watch these two massive structures throwing hands. This kid has basically no idea what he's doing, but somehow activates the Eva's berserk mode during the fight and absolutely decimates the angel. I'd bet if you were old enough to watch this show as it aired back weekly in the 90s, you weren't expecting to eventually watch one of the most confusing and metaphorical pieces of art that attempts to explore deep philosophical questions and themes of human morality. When I started watching it, I went from, yo, sick-ass mechas versus biblically accurate angels, to me then sitting there dick in hand trying to figure out what the fuck I just finished watching. Here's a quick rundown of the show's plot that this anime tries to stitch together. Emphasis on the tried, and I'll get to that in just a second. It's 2015 and Japan is living in the aftermath of a catastrophic event called the Second Impact that happened in the year 2000. Why is it the second impact and what about the first? Well, I guess the writers left that up for interpretation or something because it's never really even mentioned at all. However, the exact cause of the second impact is still widely regarded as a mystery, and the majority of the public believes it was an asteroid impact that caused these angels to appear. And so far as we know, all they want to do is destroy shit. You know, basic villain stuff, yada yada. But here's the real ball twister. The underground military association known as NERV, who oversees the EVAs, their pilots, and all the encounters that they have with angels, actually know exactly what caused the second impact all those years ago, and have a secret mini-organization inside of NERV known as ZEAL, which could either be a supercomputer diagnosed with multiple personality disorder, or it could be aliens. We don't really even know, but what we do know is that they're secretly trying to create a third impact by getting an angel and make it get into contact with Adam, a secret dead angel underground. Will completely destroy the world, or in the words of ZEAL, elevate humanity to a sense of godhood, or something, man. I really don't even know, man. If that made zero sense to you at all, it's either because you've never watched the anime before and I practically just spoke to you in Minecraft enchanting table, or on the other hand, you're an Evangelion fan and I just butchered the entire plot for the sake of this video. Or you could be somewhere in the middle where you're perfectly following what I just said and you're very intrigued as to where I'm going with this. I've mentioned that this anime sort of quote-unquote tries to stitch together the plot, and while watching, it's blatantly obvious that the direction of the anime kind of feels a little loosely thrown together at times. And to be honest, this doesn't really even stem from the fact that the anime tries to answer deep philosophical questions using some very confusing moments during the episode, but it's much rather the way they try to explain why the events of the anime are happening, or should I say the lack thereof. We're never really even shown where angels came from in the first place. You're just kind of told that they kind of randomly appeared and that humanity took advantage of it by creating the Evas. And what about the zeal? During the anime, scenes are shown where they're all sitting in a conference room as humans, but eventually we're shown that they're rather these weird machines that for some reason want to initiate the third impact and destroy humanity. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that a lot of that didn't make any sense to you at all. Well, that's basically what it felt like watching the show. My point is, just because the anime tries to come off as this highly intricate and hard to understand piece of fiction, probably doesn't give them the excuse to leave out some very valid questions that arise during your time watching the show. Why even bother coming up with all of these creative ideas hinting at some really deep and foreign alien concept that could potentially arise during the show if you're just gonna end up making a jumbled up mess of it in the end, that people will eventually say is intended for the sake of making a confusing ending? Which, don't get me wrong, it is intended in the end, but I just feel like it's wasted potential. Either that, or I'm just mad stupid and I didn't pay enough attention. So yeah, you're well in your right to say that I probably have a tiny little piss brain for not properly understanding Eva and its plot. But hey, even despite all that, I feel like there was some very high amount of potential for the show to be something badass in the end. I don't know, like, imagine Shinji fighting God using a Super Saiyan mech or something. Fuck, I don't know, dude. I didn't write the show, man. But in the end, I actually think you can very easily enjoy watching Evangelion for other aspects of the show. The later episodes, as well as the movie for that matter, almost feel like it goes completely off the rails. And it's not because of the plot being hard to follow or anything like that. No, what really made everyone take such a liking to the show is its aesthetic and beautiful yet insanely confusing imagery that is used to make sense of its abstract concepts. Shinji is a complex character, and the show uses a lot of moments to emphasize his internal character struggle by showing us imagery of what could be equivalent into looking right into his troubled mind. His poor relationship with his father, shaky friendships with the other pilots, as well as overall doubt and fear about piloting the Eva, all eventually get combined into these moments of character development, and with the freedom of the animation world, you get some insanely aesthetic imagery. It's clear that the animators took advantage of it whenever they could, because it's shown when they bring you these insanely beautiful and captivating moments during the anime. Before, during the earlier episodes, you were given the impression that kids were fighting massive aliens, and here we are now where we're basically watching God doing whatever the hell this is. Everything, ranging from the angel designs and the Eva's battle encounters with them, everything is so well animated. Asuka, Rei, and Shinji are all suiting up to enter the Evas while the support team are screaming about numbers and random math shit trying to figure out what kind of threat they're up against. They finally go up to the already evacuated surface where they go head to head with an enemy they've never encountered before. Then eventually through the episodes, the characters are sometimes literally on the brink of death fighting these angels, all the while Shinji's father sits there comfortably monitoring everything through his maniacal little glasses like some JoJo's villain. Did I take my vitamins or the Viagra this morning? Because I am hard as a rock right now. And this may feel repetitive to some people, yet you can tell that the show tries their absolute best to add a new interesting twist every single time. Whether they decide to drop some new insane detail about the angels or exploring the characters' emotional aspects, your mind will constantly be churning to figure out these things that they throw at you. But this makes it all the more confusing and what I would say a rather unsatisfying conclusion to the story. Considering all these things that were told to you about the characters and the world, eventually at the end, you're probably just going to be left confused and wondering what the real goal even was from the start. In the end, I feel like there was a lot of potential for Evangelion to be something more than just a metaphorical piece of art that addresses deep questions during its runtime. Yet despite all that, this show holds up surprisingly well for its time. I think the unexplainable vibe of animes that were produced in the 80s to 90s is something that's very recognizable here, and it takes a real level of skill to produce something so high quality, especially considering the age that animation was in when this was produced. The show might be confusing to some people, including me, but I promise it's still a good watch regardless. Neon Genesis Evangelion is an overrated masterpiece, and I don't think we'll see something like it ever again. Hey, Bushy from the future here. So after writing this script, I kind of thought to myself, I never really watched those 3 movies that kind of continue some of the stuff. It's not really a continuation, it's more like it just kind of rewrites stuff in a better animation, which is kind of like my favorite thing, so I will be watching those movies. Who knows, maybe after I watch the movies, this entire video is fucking useless and people are gonna call me out for it in the comments. That'll be so funny. Even though I don't get much views, I feel like somebody will still comment that. It's like the universe hates me. I always get hate comments about something that I'm wrong about in videos, so hopefully I am wrong. Then I get more views. Anyways, that's about it. See ya. Also subscribe.